This mind map video explains 8 concepts about project life cycle and organizational influences on the project. First key concept is project governance framework. This defines various procedures and criteria to ensure that the organizational objectives are achieved. This framework helps to engage stakeholders and align the project to stakeholders' needs. Elements of project governance framework includes project success criteria, deliverable acceptance criteria, decision-making procedures, process for phase reviews, process for change review and approval, project organization charts, procedures to align with strategy and issue resolution and escalation procedures. Next key concept is project life cycle. 3 types of project life cycles are predictive, incremental and adaptive. Predictive life cycle is used when the project scope is clear. Similar kinds of projects are done several times before, and it is possible to develop full plan for the project. Second type is incremental life cycle, also known as iterative life cycle. In iterative or incremental life cycle, the project phases are repeated intentionally. This life cycle is preferred when organization wants to control changing objectives and changes in scope. It is also preferred in the situations when organization wants to reduce the complexity of the project, or when the partial delivery of the product is beneficial. Third type of life cycle is adaptive life cycle, or agile life cycle. This life cycle is similar to iterative life cycle, however the duration of phase iterations is shorter, usually 2 to 4 weeks. Talking about phases, these are the elements of project life cycle. A phase represents a logical grouping of project activities. For example, all design activities can be named as design phase. A project can be a single-phase project, or multi-phase project. A phase review can be done at the start of the phase to review risks, identify stakeholders, and review the plan, while end-of-phase review is typically performed to ensure that all activities of that phase are completed successfully, and project is on track. Next comes the relationship between phases, that are classified as sequential and overlapping. Sequential relationship is also known as step-by-step phase approach. In sequential relationship, a phase starts only when the previous stage is complete. This reduces uncertainty. However, this is not suitable for the projects where tight deadlines to be achieved. In overlapping relationship, a phase starts before the completion of previous phase. Overlapping relationship sometimes can be described as parallel approach. This relationship is good for the projects with tight deadlines, however, it increases the risk of rework. Third key concept explains impact of organization on the project. Organization culture, style of working, communication style and systems, organization maturity on project management, and organizational structures are some of the key factors influencing the project positively or negatively. The projects are mostly influenced by organizational structures that range from functional to projectized, with various matrix structures in between. Functional organizations are least supportive for projects, as the authority of the project managers is very little, while projectized organizations are most supportive for projects, as it gives great deal of independence and authority to project managers. Weak, balanced and strong matrix are the 3 types of matrix organizational structures, and this classification is dependent on the relative level of power and influence between functional and project managers. Weak matrix maintains characteristics of functional organization, however become little more supportive than functional organization, by adding project coordinator and project expediter roles. Balanced matrix is more supportive to project management than weak matrix organization by adding full-time project manager roles with more authority than project coordinators. Strong matrix reflects many characteristics of projectized organization, by adding full-time project manager roles with considerable authority, and full-time project administrative staff. There is another type of organization structure, that is called composite structure, that involve all these structures at various levels. Fourth key concept is the process assets of performing organization, that can be broadly classified as project plans, corporate knowledge base, and organizational processes and procedures. Process assets can be updated by team members throughout the project. Corporate knowledge base includes historical information about previous projects, lesson learned, knowledge databases about configuration management, databases about process measurement, and databases of issues or defects. Next key concept is the stakeholders of the project, who can influence the project objectives and requirements, while project outcomes can impact the stakeholders. The stakeholders can be internal or external to the project team. The roles of stakeholders can vary from individual to groups, as well as from internal to external organizations. Continuous identification of stakeholders is important, and their needs should be identified clearly. Expectations should be managed proactively. Concerns should be addressed promptly, and issues should be resolved at earliest. Stakeholders can take several roles, such as sponsor, customer, users, sellers, business partners, organizational groups, functional manager, and other financial, legal, and government entities. Sixth concept is the project success criteria that should be defined within the approved constraints of scope, time, cost, quality, resources, and risk. These constraints are typically reflected in scope, schedule, and cost baselines. Project performance is measured against these baselines to determine the project success in addition to customer acceptance. Next key concept is enterprise environmental factors that represent those conditions which are not under the control of project team. These factors can influence the project positively or negatively, and considered as input to most planning processes. Some of the factors are organizational influences, company or industry standards, existing human resources, infrastructure facilities, marketplace conditions, work authorization systems, commercial databases, and project management information systems. Last key concept is the project team. Project team can be co-located or virtual. Project team can consist of various roles, such as project management staff, project staff, supporting experts, user or customers representative, seller, business partner members, and business partners. There are two compositions of the project team, classified as dedicated and part-time project team. Dedicated team is a team in which most of the members are assigned to work full-time and reporting to project manager. Part-time team members are usually reporting to functional managers and carrying out project activities as additional assignments. This brings us to the end of mind map video. Thank you for listening.